Hello, YouTube family. Haven't broadcast in a while. This is Alex from Banganta House German Shepherds. One of the things this channel is about is breeding, genetics, training of German Shepherds and other breeds, and raising puppies. You see in my videos how much care and love I put into these puppies. And so, but this is a dog channel overall, not just for German Shepherds. And so, people have watched my videos, and some people have reached out to me for advice, which I was very pleased to see that people trusted me to give them advice. So today's broadcast is about puppies that don't bond. At least that's what the email was about. I received an email from a fellow breeder at my website email address, and he writes he received a letter from a puppy family. He forwarded me that email, and he's asking me what should I do as the owner of those puppies, and do I take that puppy back? So um, I'm going to read you that letter. Now, a couple of things that come across. First of all, in a large scale operation, the breeder may not give a damn about his puppies. There, it's just some puppies out of one female. He may have as many as 5 or 6 breeding females. And once the sale is made, the sale is made. And he may not care anything about those puppies after the contract is finished. And as long as he fulfills his contract, he may not care any further about what happens to those puppies. I'm going to put more light on so it's easier to see. Um, so um, this strikes me as the exact opposite, because if he didn't care about the outcome of these puppies, then he wouldn't be forwarding me this email and wouldn't be asking this question. So this alone is very commendable that this person is doing that. That shows that the breeder really cares about the well-being of the puppies he places. And one of the things a breeder tries to do is put the right dog with the right family. And that's a critical element of the success of that dog and that family. So let me read you what he writes. I'm going to look up my screen, and that's why I'm looking up. And I'm going to read it to you more or less as I received it. Uh, Hi, Alex. This is the letter I received from the family. Functionally, Max is excellent. Great house training and obedience is excellent. He sleeps through the night. He is great at puppy class. He's good with other people and dogs. He was good at the vet's office. No problem so far with loud noises or anything like that. The problem is when we are unable to build a relationship with him. He doesn't respond well to affection at all. We find it hard to make his tail wag. He will briefly let us stroke him, but usually ends with a bite. He's unwilling to let us pick him up. He will play enthusiastically with toys, but this will quickly progress to a biting and a frenzy. We have had rescue dogs before, we have had puppies before, but we never had this lack of relationship. We tried everything we can think of to improve the relationship. We fear that the situation will become worse. So this is the letter I received. He's asking me what I would do. So he has a couple of choices at his disposal. The first choice is to take the puppy back. That's choice number one. Choice number two is try to work with that family to figure out what's causing this behavior and try to keep that puppy in that home. That's choice number two. And choice number three would be to wash his hands and say, well, I sold you a healthy puppy. You yourself say he's highly trainable, and my obligation ends when I sold the dog. I am fulfilled my contract. There's nothing wrong with the puppy medically. Therefore, I'm not responsible for any training issues you're experiencing. And he could say, I wash my hands. I sold the puppy to you in good faith. You have to make a good faith effort to train him. And there's nothing wrong with this puppy. So that's the third option. So let's examine those three options. Take the puppy back, work with the family to improve the situation, or wash his hands and say, I'm sorry, there's nothing medically wrong with the puppy, and I uh, can't take the puppy back because there's nothing medically wrong, and therefore I'm not responsible further past the point of sale. Now, if he wanted to do option three, which was to simply say, absolve myself of any further responsibility, obviously he wouldn't have wrote the email that he wrote to me because obviously it bothers him, right? So right off the bat, that's not an option. So then the question becomes, when you receive a letter like that, it kind of breaks your heart as a breeder that one of the puppies you raised until 8 weeks of age, 10 weeks of age is having problems with that family. And the question is, well, what do you make of the letter that family wrote to you? Do you um, take the letter at face value? So, in my opinion, you don't take this letter at face value because he himself has not seen the behavior. So when you have third-party information, you can't possibly take it at face value. Um, Therefore, uh, if he took the dog into his own home for a few days and first-hand observed the information, that would be a more accurate way to assess the situation, in my opinion. But I don't think that's possible. The third thing that comes across very obviously is that this puppy, according to that email, has only been with the family for 30 days. He's 12 weeks old. And the puppy came to that family at 8 weeks of age, which is a typical age for puppies. So this puppy is only there for 30 days. Given the short time the puppy is with that family, it's pretty remarkable progress. It's well on his way to house training, well on his way to crate training, well on his way to obedience training. The puppy has good nerves. It doesn't get startled easily by loud noises, according to their own email. So what is it then that is the problem? Because certainly they don't say it's a nervous puppy or a fearful puppy. They simply say that it doesn't bond with them. Well, first of all, I would argue that they have unrealistic expectations of a 12-week-old puppy. Um, do the expectations of the family, excuse me, match that puppy? Perhaps their expectations are too high for a puppy this age. So I would argue that you have to have realistic expectations of what can or cannot be accomplished in only 30 days. I think their expectations are too high. Also, when they're writing biting, a lot of puppies are mouthy. They're not biting. That's not the same thing. There's aggressive biting and there's being mouthy, and the herding breeds are mouthy. They live their litter mates, and all they know is to bite their own fellow brothers and sisters as a way to communicate rank. And that's how they play, and that's all they know. So when they come to your new home, they only know to bite because they don't know any other way to interact with you because that's all they've done in thus far with their family, which is their litter mates. So my understanding of this family, in my opinion, given what I've read, is that their expectations are not in line with puppy of this age. That's what I read in this letter. But being as it may, well, what I do, in my opinion, he should take the puppy back. What comes across in this email is that they write, we have done everything we can and still it's not better. It's almost like they're looking for an excuse to absolve themselves of any guilt, saying, we have done everything we can. What do you mean you've done everything you can? It's only been 30 days. You mean you've done everything you can in only 30 days? Uh, that's not a lot of time. But if you keep this puppy in this family, um, you are going to wind up with a 6-month-old puppy or a 12-month-old puppy that will be returned to you, and it will be a nerve bag at that age. So it's better to take him now back at his age, when he still hasn't been ruined by the behavior with this family. It just sometimes happens. Some people don't bond with certain dogs, and certain dogs don't bond with certain people. Now, one of the things you could suggest to the family is to do breed appropriate behavior. For example, it's a shepherd puppy, so maybe tug with the puppy, get his prey drive onto a toy. In other words, leverage the dog's natural instincts. So if you have, for example, a retriever which wants to retrieve, and you put it in the living room and you don't give it an outlet for its energy or its natural drives, you're causing frustration for that dog. The other thing is, what does the family expect out of this breed? In other words, I've seen people I want a big tough dog, and they wind up getting an English Mastiff. Then when it's a 140-pound dog and it's pulling them down the street, they can't handle it. Well, no wonder. You're not used to having a dog that size. Or you're getting a 90-pound German Shepherd and he's pulling you down the street because you don't know how to handle a breed that size. Maybe this family needs a pocket-sized dog, like a Cavapoo, or a Maltese, or maybe a Chihuahua. In other words, a pocket-sized breed that they can pick up all the time and hold in their hands all the time and snuggle with all the time. This is not a snuggly breed that constantly wants to snuggle. It wants to do things. Maybe their expectations of what the breed is like versus what they really want is not a match. That's why the breeder should have taken more time to interview this family and get an understanding of what the family actually really wants. And this breed should have been appropriately matched to this family. I always look for people who had previous German Shepherd or large breed experience in placing my puppies. This breed is not for the first time owner, which doesn't sound like they are, but you have to have more experience with certain breeds. Some breeds are not suitable for first time dog owners. So that could well be the problem here. The long story short is that this puppy will be miserable in this home, and this family doesn't really like this puppy. That's what comes across in this letter. They don't really like this puppy. And that's what comes across. If I was that breeder, my advice is to take the puppy back. If you have questions and want advice, what I think I would do, and you're a breeder and you want information, email me and I'll give you a podcast like this one where I give you my thoughts on advice on situations like that. Okay, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel. All the best. And that wraps up another episode of the Von Ganta House YouTube channel. Thank you for being part of our German Shepherd community. Remember, you can stay connected to us beyond the podcast. Find us on all the major media platforms by searching for Von Ganta House, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. Just hit that follow button or that subscribe button to join the conversation and get the latest updates. If you have a burning question or want to apply to be a guest on our show, we would love to hear from you. Simply shoot us an email at vongantahouse@gmail.com. And if you are a business interested in becoming a sponsor, reach out to us at the same email address at vongantahouse@gmail.com. For more resources, exclusive content, puppy reservations, visit our website at vongantahouse.com. We have blogs and articles you might enjoy as well. It's your go-to destination for everything German Shepherd and working dog sports related content. Thank you once again for tuning in. We can't wait to speak with you again, where we explore the fascinating world of breeding, training, genetics, and our wonderful breed. Look forward to hearing from you.